Hey there, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, and wellness advocate. Before I get into why I've decided to take a little break from YouTube, I wanted to just say thank you. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, for following me on YouTube and also other social media. Thank you for communicating back and forth with me, leaving different comments, liking, sharing, and just being someone who is a part of my life. And it's been so wonderful to meet so many different walks of life through YouTube. It is such a great platform to connect with people from all over the world, to hear all their different stories, and to learn that we have so much in common, that even people who might not look like me, might not talk like me or act like me, or even believe in all the things I believe in, that there's still so much that I find in common with the different people who are leaving me comments and they're sharing their own stories. And we find out that, you know, life is sometimes just this beautiful place where we're on a journey together, and it just makes it more meaningful when we discover that we're not alone. So if there's anything that I always want to give people a takeaway from my videos, the first thing would always be to have hope. We always got to hang on to hope, no matter how bad things get, no matter what rock bottom we're dealing with. There's hope. And the other thing is that we're not alone, because oftentimes through sharing my different stories and the hard places I've been, especially with different medications, different times where I've had depression, chronic pain with fibromyalgia, it gets lonely. Sometimes it can get real lonely. And the one thing I've learned through all these years being a YouTuber is discovering that we're not alone, that so many other people are going through similar experiences as us, and that we find this common thread that we're unique people, and yet we can honestly understand one another, and we could share very similar stories. And so today I just thank you for being a part of my life and a part of my YouTube channel, and for supporting me. I'd like to just chat about basic reasons on why I think it's necessary for me to take a step back and for me to stop basically having any more content. Number one is I have a lot of videos. I've lost count of how many videos. And while I'm not a big YouTuber, and I'm not making one dime, not 1 cent from YouTube, and I'll get into that in a moment. But when we just focus on the time involved with creating new content, and all of the time and the energy and the resources that get into researching really important topics. And for me, I found out just through the years, it was just this transformation, this evolving, a wonderful journey where I'm growing and changing. And I discovered that the topics I started sharing back in 2011 on YouTube are not really the topics that I'm talking about today. And while I am still a person of faith and I'm a believer, and I, totally am into the whole experience of spirituality, it is a topic that hasn't been very big as far as people viewing and leaving comments. And what really was a big change for me was when I started sharing some real hard places in my life, the messy places in my life, the suicide attempt back in 2010, the overdosing on a variety of medications because Cymbalta turned my life upside down. I had horrific side effects from Cymbalta in 2010, and there is a black box warning for causing suicidal action, suicidal thoughts, and so many other horrific symptoms. And so, I'm open and I share. And once I started doing this, and I started putting out a lot of videos to do with medications like Effexor, gabapentin, Prozac, Ativan, Cipro, and the list goes on and on. But what's really interesting is that's when my YouTube channel started growing. So when I started really putting myself out there in a real vulnerable way, sharing these horrific experiences, I mean, I'm talking nightmare, just an absolute nightmare. I mean, hey people, I'm heading into 8 years, finally 8 years being free of all pharmaceuticals. And so I've shared, you know, the times when I took these medications and I landed in the ER and I was very suicidal and I had just horrific things going on in my life, and it was an absolute meltdown. And these are the messy places I've been, and yet so many of my subscribers and people commenting, people who are liking my videos, are sharing a very similar story. And it's just so interesting that in 2011, I never would have imagined opening up this much, being this open, this blunt, and this transparent with people. But I have found that by doing this, it just really empowers people to start sharing their story, to start talking about when they became suicidal, to start talking about those medications that caused them also this hellish ordeal. And so it has been quite a whirlwind of activity, especially after my video Flying High with gabapentin. That one really did bring me to where I'm at today, where I have so many more subscribers, so many more viewers and comments. But for all the positive, there is also another side to it. You know, there's always a good and bad. There's always pros and cons to everything. And the one thing that has really been on my mind this entire year, and it really distresses me, so I'm just going to kind of put it out there and share. It's that YouTube has made some drastic changes, especially in 2018, where they demonetize this YouTube platform for many of their creators. And what happens is there's a lot of creators that are like me. They want to talk about the different medications they've been on. They want to talk about their chronic pain. Maybe they have depression, anxiety, some form of emotional challenges, whatever health conditions they're going through. And these are very serious, and we take it serious. And yet YouTube frowns upon mental health. YouTube does not believe that these videos to do with, say, medications, suicidal ideation, different rock bottom moments with various pharmaceuticals, and just the general anxiety, depression, ADHD, I mean, the list goes on and on with mental health, but YouTube frowns on mental health. And where I'm at is, you know, hey, I'm not going to just create content to make YouTube happy. You know, that's just like someone telling me what to write. You know, I'm an author, I write books. No, nobody's telling me what to write. You know, when you are a very creative person, you go with the flow of creativity. You know, wherever your creativity takes you, you go. You know, for those people who love music, they go in that direction. For people who love the beauty industry, they go in that direction. People who cook, I mean, I love all those cooking channels. I love watching all the things to do with cooking, but that's not my niche as far as myself creating YouTube content, you know. So where I really have passion is talking about the different medications and talking about the experiences, and also putting a warning out there. You know, I do forewarn people about things like Ativan, which is a benzodiazepine, all benzos, you know, Xanax, Klonopin, Valium, lorazepam, you name it, there's a long list, and also other drugs such as Cymbalta, which is also known as duloxetine. I put it out there because that's what I am all about. I am about educating. I am about empowering. I am a person who gives information, and I go into a lot of time outside of YouTube where I am researching. I am dedicating myself to learning more facts, credible facts, getting very credible resources, and then bringing it to you so you can understand where I'm coming from and you could have some facts. Now, of course, not everybody's going to appreciate this, and that's easy for me to find out because all I have to do is scroll through some comments, especially on Flying High with gabapentin. Boy, oh boy, those comments, thousands Can't keep up with you people. I appreciate your comments on all videos across the board from the beginning all the way through till right now. I appreciate your comments, but I'm going to say in between YouTube demonetizing topics that I'm passionate about, in between some really rude, outspoken, vulgar comments, lots of those, and due to censorship on YouTube and so many different dynamics that are very complicated, it makes it really, really challenging for me to continue bringing forth more content and spending valuable time on my own outside of YouTube. You know, this is my time. And there's that saying, time is money. Well, that's interesting if time is money, because on YouTube, I don't make a cent. And it's interesting too, and I want to bring this up because this is something that just is a pet peeve and I need to put it out there. There are some people who don't understand that, number one, there are a lot of YouTubers who do make money, and that's great. You know, kudos to you, because if you are having topics that are ad friendly, you know, I give you 2 thumbs up. But I'm following my heart. I'm following my passion. I'm not going to talk about subjects that just don't have an interest, topics that don't resonate within my spirit. You know, I am going to be real and only put out content that I really believe is something I'm passionate about, something that I've researched. But keep in mind, you know, in between A, all of this time, and B, then having to go back through and read all of the comments. And that's, you know, a big thing here. There are people who are creators on YouTube who automatically let every single comment come through. So they don't view it, they don't review it, they just let every single comment come through. And there's other people such as myself who we will have to read every single comment, and we're going to review these comments and decide for ourselves if it will be something that's acceptable, or if what they're saying is very negative, derogatory, or just downright vulgar, and we're gonna say, bye-bye, adios, and we might block them also. And so that's what happens. And because I am choosing to read each comment, and the main reason is because I try to keep a more positive YouTube channel, and because some comments are extremely outspoken, vulgar, or just despicable in their attitude, they're not coming through. You're not going to rain on my parade. You want to be nasty, you want to be ugly, you want to hide behind your little phone and your little computer being rotten to people, go somewhere else, because you're not doing it on my channel. Let's get to the point. I really enjoy YouTube, but this whole demonetization, that I can't talk about faith, that I can't talk about God, that I can't talk about things such as anxiety, depression, suicide, medication, and the list goes on and on. There's so many things that are, you know, of value. I mean, this is the truth. It's of value. This content is benefiting thousands upon thousands of people. And how do I know? Because I read the comments. There are so many people who are just absolutely wonderful. And they tell me that they appreciate my content, they appreciate that I'm being open and honest and sharing about my rock bottom. And there are so many people who are just extremely uplifting, they are encouraging, and they're the people who keep me here. They're really the people who keep me on YouTube. You know, you're the reason why I feel happy to continue. But right now I'm at a place where, you know, we're heading into the new year, and I'm in the middle of a book launch. So I'm heading into my 4th book, and it is a nonfiction, Sacred Wandering, and it takes so much time and energy to get a book from start to finish, and then to have a book launch. And because it's so time consuming and YouTube's so time consuming, I'm gonna have to focus on my book for now. So I'll see you next year. God bless. And if you'd like to visit me, check out DanaArcuri.com. Happy holidays.